In 2021, a pair of worn Yeezy prototypes sold at auction for $1.8 million. That same year, Nike sold 100 million pairs to people who wore them to the gym and thought nothing of it. Same brand, 7 completely different worlds in between. Let's get into it. Level 1, the general release. Dick's Sporting Goods, $80 to $150. No waitlist, no raffle, no system required. You walk in, you pay, you leave. Nobody noticed. This is the foundation. Nike makes the bulk of its revenue here, not on limited Jordans or collaboration drops, but on running shoes and lifestyle silhouettes available in every size at every major retailer. The Air Max 270 is not exciting. It is also worn by more people than every limited release in this video combined. Here's what most people miss. The technology is often better than the collector's shoe. The foam in a current Ultraboost outperforms most of what sits on resale shelves. Level 2, the hype release. The shoe that exists at retail, but only if you know when, where, and how. Jordan brand retros, Nike Dunks, Adidas drops that go live at 10 a.m. and sell out by 10:01. The window is real. The scarcity is not accidental. Scarcity is the product. The harder the shoe is to buy at retail, the more desirable it becomes. Nike wins whether you bought from them or from a reseller at twice the price. Level 3, the collaboration. Nike x Off-White, New Balance x Aimé Leon Dore, Adidas x Wales Bonner. The moment a sneaker brand hands creative direction to someone outside the industry, and the result becomes something neither could have made alone. Before Virgil Abloh's Nike The 10 collection in 2017, a deconstructed Air Force One with exposed foam and text printed where text isn't supposed to go was not viable. After it, the collection resold for 10 to 20 times retail, not because the shoe was better, because Virgil changed what the object said about the person wearing it. That's the product at level 3, not the shoe, the cultural positioning. A New Balance 550 in the right colorway signals something to the right person across a room. I know, I was there. The person who recognizes it is also someone who knows. That mutual recognition, the silent conversation between two people who both understand the reference, is worth more to a certain buyer than any spec sheet. Level 4, the Grail. The shoe that defined a moment so completely that owning one in the right size is a 3-year search, not a purchase. A collector in Tokyo has been looking for a specific 1985 Air Jordan 1 colorway in his size for 3 years. Alerts on every platform. A network across 3 countries. One morning, a pair appears. Near dead stock, box included. He buys it in 4 minutes without negotiating. The next buyer is 30 seconds behind him. Michael Jordan wore a shoe that violated the NBA's uniform policy in 1984. Nike paid the $5,000 per game fine. The shoe became famous before most of its future buyers were born. That sequence produced a cultural artifact. The shoe absorbed the significance of the moment. You cannot replicate the moment. You can only own what's left of it. A Grail without a story is just an old shoe. A Grail with the right story, in the right condition, is a different category of object entirely. A 1985 Jordan 1 bred in dead stock condition trades for $10,000 to $20,000, depending on size. Condition is not a detail. Condition is the asset. Level 5, the financialization. The point where the shoe stops being a cultural object and becomes a tradable asset with a bid-ask spread. The Rally platform allowed fractional investment in sneakers. Rares launched as a sneaker stock market. StockX operates on live market data, price history, 52-week highs and lows, volatility indexes. A celebrity wears a shoe. The price spikes. A restock is announced. The price drops. One collector, 19 years old, first flip, a Dunk Low bought for $110 and sold for $350 before the weekend, reinvested in 3 more pairs the same day. He had a spreadsheet before he had a car. The Nike Air Mag, 89 pairs auctioned in 2016, the self-lacing shoe from Back to the Future 2, reportedly trades at $50,000 to $150,000 today. Nobody wears them. They sit in museum-quality cases, insured as collectibles. The person who bought the right Yeezy in 2016 did very well. The person who bought 10 pairs of the wrong Yeezy in 2022 had a quiet conversation with himself about opportunity cost. If you're finding this useful, subscribe. 2 more levels. And this is where the system stops making sense to most people and starts making perfect sense to a very small number. Level 6. The luxury conversion. The moment sneakers stop being sneakers and become luxury signaling objects that happen to be worn on the foot, Chanel, Dior, Balenciaga, houses that spent decades refusing to make athletic footwear, watched streetwear consume the entire fashion conversation and responded with sneakers at $800 to $1,500. The leather is exceptional. The construction is exceptional. That's not why you buy it. You buy it because the logo communicates to a specific audience while remaining invisible to everyone else. The person who recognizes your Chanel sneaker is exactly the person you wanted to recognize it. Everyone else sees a shoe. A buyer walks into Dior. She has bought bags, watches, and ready-to-wear. She picks up a pair at $1,100. Hesitates. Not at the price, but at the question. Can a sneaker carry what a bag carries? She puts them on. Looks in the mirror. The answer arrives without language. She buys them. The Balenciaga Triple S captured this perfectly. Below this level, sneakers derive value from sneaker culture. Above it, value is inherited from somewhere else entirely. Level 7. The final level. The artifact. The object whose value is no longer manufactured, it is inherited from cultural memory. The Nike Air Yeezy 1 prototypes. $1.8 million. The shoe is not technically superior. The materials are not rare. Kanye West wore them at the 2008 Grammys during a performance that became a cultural reference point. The shoes were present. They absorbed the significance of that moment. Here is the mechanism. At every level below this, value is produced by scarcity, by brand, by market dynamics. At level 7, value is received. The object was in the room when something happened. Nobody can manufacture that retroactively. You can make a new limited shoe. You cannot make a new 2008 Grammy performance. Custom sneakers by the top-tier artists, 80 hours of hand-painted work, commissions of $5,000 to $20,000, occupy the same position. The collector buying one isn't buying a sneaker, he's buying a painting that happens to be 3-dimensional. The shoe has never touched a floor it wasn't supposed to touch. It lives in a climate-controlled case. It comes out for the photograph that confirms its existence, and then goes back. The sneaker became a vessel. The vessel became a record. The record is the only thing that cannot be reproduced. The sneaker was invented to protect feet, rubber sole, canvas upper. At the bottom, sneakers are consumption. At the top, they are documentation. And the distance between those two things, between a $90 pair on a shelf in Dick's and a $1.8 million pair in a climate-controlled case, is not really about shoes at all. You were never buying sneakers. You were buying proof that something mattered. If this was useful, subscribe. I break down how things actually work, not how the hype describes them. See you in the next one.